Hello, 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 hello. I'm Lynn Browner, and I have a son, Owen, who is 13, and he has autism. We paint together, working on his fine motor skills. He helps me paint the backgrounds of our paintings, and then I paint the rest. So I'm trying to make myself go a little out of my fast comfort zones. I tend to paint extremely fast and sometimes not much detail. And so I'm trying to make myself kind of paint a little slower and do a little bit more sometimes. I won't say that it always happens, but that's what I'm kind of trying to make myself do. So, and I'm not saying that it's going to happen on this one. Fair warning. But I'm trying to focus more on completing the look versus just getting it done. I've been painting for many years now with Owen, and it has given me so much to be able to share our story and everything. But I just want to kind of spend more time with the process versus trying to get through the process. I think that's probably a pretty good way to explain it. So I'm doing these, and who knows if any of it's gonna be where they're supposed to be, but we just go with the flow sometimes. And so I'm just looking at everything and kind of doing more and trying not to always use my favorite paintbrush. But that happens a lot. So I'm also fighting a headache tonight, so tonight's probably not the night to say that I'm going to be doing a lot of detail. We're supposed to have a little bit, possibly, cooler weather in the next few days, and I know it's partly sinus and pressure from the heat, so my crankiness here is full, I suppose. But Owen, all my days are blending together. I feel like I'm like not sure anymore what day is what's happened on what days. He woke up last night around 10:30, I think it was, and I finally got him back to sleep. I'm going with midnight, I'm not sure. All the times kind of blend together at some point, and so I'm just going with it was late, and he thankfully went back to sleep. I think it was actually a little bit earlier than that, and he was asleep by midnight. I think that's probably a better way to say it, but he was up for quite some time. He kept coming to me and talking about going to church, and I was trying every which way to explain to him that it was not church time yet. It was still Saturday, and that he needed to go back to sleep because it was, in fact, Saturday and it was not church day yet. So he finally did, but I'm trying to get him to understand, and it's a process. I'm trying to get him to understand that just because he's awake does not mean that I have to be awake. And that is not quite something that he is fully grasping yet. He's still like, it's a lot for him to process, like that he doesn't need to keep me awake, because it's not just a matter of he comes and wakes me up. He literally does not want me to fall back asleep. So we're working on that he needs to let me be asleep. And like I said, that's not always an easy process for him to kind of grasp and deal with. So trying to get him on board with that is, let's just say, so far almost impossible. It's just not something that he can handle or he can process. He laughs every time like that I tell him that I need more sleep. So, like I said, it's a challenge to get him to process some of those things like that, and he'll get there. I mean, I truly believe that where he's come from, I mean, he's doing amazing things with the way he's handling it, and how he's dealing with so much of the concepts of time now, like he, without being able to really look at a calendar, like he doesn't really look at a calendar, but he knows so much about time and being able to deal with time, and that in itself is a miracle and amazing and wonderful, and so many things to be able to get him to know that he has to stay in bed until 5:00. And I always say it like that and write it out 5:00, like 00, because that's how I explained it to him, not 5:00. And so he always says 5:00. And I mean, the English language and the way we interchange words, no real big deal. But it's just kind of, I guess it's funny to me. That's probably the best way to say it. It's funny just to hear him quoting my words back at me in so many ways. Oh, see, there's the yawn. Oh, it's been a long week. and it's only Sunday. Um, it's been just between my cancer treatments and just, you know, things going on and life happening, and just it's been a lot right now. So every day I just pray, and I'm thankful for how far Owen's come, and to see the changes in him and the growth. That in itself is truly like a big blessing. So I go with that, you know, I go with those moments. I'm looking at this and adding as I go along here, trying to decide what should go where and what's like, how much do I want to fill in, how much do I want to let it just be, you know, wild child flowers here. And how tired am I? How tired am I to like do certain things without it really, you know, being anything else. So we'll see. But I'm gonna keep making some flowers. I want it kind of full, but I feel like I'm missing some colors, like I should have something else, but I don't really want to add too many other things right now, so we're just going to keep making what we're making. So, when I got up this morning, I was like, I fell asleep early, and then Owen actually woke me up, and then I was up for a while, and then excuse me, as I fall asleep standing up. Well, I'm sitting. And then, you know, I couldn't fall back asleep right away, and so I was up for some time. And you know, that just, you know. And so when I woke up, I was like, okay, we're not going to church. And then he said that he prayed that we'd go to church. And how can I, like, not take him to church when he's praying that he gets to go to church, you know? So, of course, I had to take him to church. And I know somebody would have picked him up if I really couldn't have gone, but I was just, you know, tired. Just tired. So sometimes that's like what happens is I get emotional, or I get just tired. Just tired. So I feel like I'm just very random on this, which I knew I was going to be, but even more so than what I was thinking it was going to be. But it'll work out. As I yawn and yawn and yawn. But sometimes that's just life. Ugh. Then I get a color on my paintbrush and I'm like, oh, that's the colors that I have right there, so I need to move over some. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Almost. One of these days I'm gonna like just stick to what I was thinking I was gonna do and not differ so much from that. But it doesn't always happen like that. So a few more little winsies here. I don't really have any of yellow kind of down here, so it's funny. I always laugh because my mom has such a green thumb and has the most beautiful flowers, and she knows the names of all these things, and me I always just pretend like I know what a flower looks like and do this. But who knows, you know, it's kind of lost on me as to the names of flowers and such, so I just make them whatever way I think they go. So, as I yawn some more. This reminds me of a lot of the earlier ones I would do. I keep feeling like I want to add little tiny flowers everywhere. So that's what I'm doing. But I think I'm done, because then I can add and add and add and add and add. So we're gonna do O for Owen, since he helps me with the backgrounds, and then L and B. There we go. Oh, I dropped my... Thanks so much for watching and being a part of our day. Toodles, toodles.